This is a really profound month because it takes in deeper the whole idea of the nothingness. Because, like I said to you guys last session, I want you to be able to associate the meaningless the same level as you associate or have grasped or have landed with the idea of the nothingness. Like at first, when people hear the nothingness, they're like, nothing? Why would I want nothing? What's this guy talking about? I want everything, right? So you get that. But I felt that when I listened to the OMG, that the conversation we should really be having about in this, in particularly in this session, in these two sessions, is for you guys to grasp what the meaningless is. We spoke about what the purpose is, right? But I left this word meaning because these sessions are about the purpose and meaning, and ultimately we spoke about, well, to grasp what meaning is, you got to. The reason why I want you to grasp what meaning is so you can grasp the meaningless. So that's ultimately what this conversation is about. That question that I left with you guys to reflect on around, are you one with the universe or is the universe one with you? I gave you my experience of that. Like when I asked that question, it took me back to that dream I had. And you remember the dream. Here I am in a room. I'm looking in the corner of the room. I can see someone's looking at me, but there was nothing there, but I could feel that there's someone in that corner, and there's a hole in the corner of the room into, I don't know where, and someone's there looking at me. Then my view changed and I became the one looking at me. It was mind-blowing. So that question for me, am I one with the universe or is the universe one with me? It takes me to being the one, and I as the one am one with Amir. Am I one with the universe, or is the universe one with me? I think that's a question that I want you to reflect for the rest of these sessions that we do while we finish off OMG. Like it's a continual reflection. It's a question that I want you to reflect on because I think there is so much to that. I'll give you one reference point to that question, but it doesn't do it justice. But it's the only reference point that formed for me if I actually pondered on what that question is actually asking. So I went back to the pondering of the question rather than reflecting the feeling of what that is. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that is one with me? That kind of just changed. I just noticed the question changed a little bit. Did I just change that question? Did that just change? Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that's one with me? Just changed a little bit, but because originally it was, am I one with the universe, or is the universe one with me? Which is just as powerful, but just notice where I have been going with this. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that is one with me? Ooh, that just changed. It just changed a little bit. Someone write that down. No, don't worry, she's our secretary. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that is one with me? Okay, so you can see the question change. It did change. I didn't try to change it. It's changed because of where I've been going with this question. Like just that little tweak, how much, what does that change? So I want you to now ponder on the new question. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that is one with me? Okay, so just notice that I didn't change the question or try to change the question. People say it was a Freudian slip or whatever. It changed as I said it, and I noticed it changed, but it's changed based on where I've been going with the question. It's changed because of the space I have been reflecting in. It's my new residue. New residue. Because we talk about old residue leaves a mark on you. Well, new residue leaves a mark on you too. Your view starts to change. And as your view starts to change, your words start to change without you even trying to change it. You're experiencing this right now as I'm sharing this with you. So the reference point that I wanted to give to you is, and this is for someone who's really struggling to go, I don't get the power of this question. And it's probably because you're a little bit more intellectual. Harold, you're a more intellectual person. I'm not looking for an answer right now, but it could be for you. Like you might be, Abe is sometimes very intellectual. So not that that's good or bad. It's just you process differently. So here's the thing. That's the drawback of being intelligent. It's got lots of benefits, but there is also a drawback. You rely too much on the intel that comes from form and knowledge, that it makes you heady. And that's cool. In the world, you're very smart. But I wasn't intelligent. So I kind of had the benefit of being able to tap into my creativity easier because I wasn't relying on intel to tell me what is true. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pros and cons of everything in duality, isn't there? So here's the thing. Change the word universe to someone you love dearly, and they're no longer with you in form. Okay? Everyone here had someone close pass away? Maybe a dog or a cat, I don't care. Doesn't matter. And if you don't have someone who's close to you who has passed away, then just do it with someone who you really dearly love, who's still here. It doesn't matter. Okay? Let me give you an example. I'll use my mother. She's dear to me. She's still here. So it still works if they're still here. If I pose the question, am I one with my mother, or is my mother one with me? What happens in your view? Here's the thing. If I am one with my mother, look what I'm doing. Look at my hand signals. If I am one with my mother is outside of me. Am I one with the universe? The universe is outside of you. Yes, you take place in the universe, but you're not the universe. Because am I one with my mother, or is my mother one with me? If I ask myself, am I one with my mother, my attention goes to external, something that is separate to me, even if they're here or even if they're passed away. That's why I said choose someone who's passed away. It's easier. It's easier for you to get what I'm saying to you when I say, or is my mother one with me? When you say, am I one with my mother's outside of me. When I say, or is my mother one with me, she's always here. This is why I say it's easier for you to experience this if someone's passed away, because then you feel what I'm saying. Because you do feel, I always feel them with me. Yes, because they're one with you. You're not one with them. It's internal versus attention being external. I'll leave that with you. It's a reference point. You can ponder on it and see where that lands. Okay? Is the universe one with me? Sorry, am I? I've already changed. I've already done the topple. Am I one with the universe? Or am I the universe that is one with me? Again, it's that mind-topple. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that is one with me? As they say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Give you a much better high. Ponder on that. Okay? This is so profound that reference point there, like I said, when I first heard me say that in the OMG, I'm like, I said that? I mean, I can accept that I said that, but I said that back then in OMG. Did I even know what I said then? Or did it just come out and I was like, oh, that was cool. It just came out of me. Because it I think it only landed for me at such a deep level when I heard me say that 7 years later. It has been 7 years since 2013, isn't it? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 16, 6 years. Like, I can get I said that, but back then I said that? Obviously, I had no idea what I was saying. And maybe it took that dream and experiencing that at such a deep level in that dream for me to be able to actually receive and grasp what I actually said back then. So that's not to do with meaning and purpose. It's just a mind-blowing, profound statement that I heard in OMG and we've been reflecting on. Let's get into meaning and purpose. If I can get my phone out and go to my trusty notes, I use my notes on my phone because it goes on the cloud and then I can use it on my phone or my computer. But the reason I'm not using it on my computer is because I'm looking at you guys and we're recording this, so I don't want to fuck with the recording. All right. All right. Which pondering do we go on? If you ask a question, you would know the answer. You wouldn't know how to articulate the question if you didn't already know the answer. let's come back to that. I mean, you don't understand. Maybe you do. I don't know, like that. What if you ask that question if you read that over and over again, what I'm actually saying there is what we just were talking about. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that's one with me? It's the same. But anyway, I'll come back to these ponderings, okay? I just want to talk about meaningless because I want to make sure we grasp that before, because these ponderings are all really profound. But this meaningless. So my intention is for you to drop into the same level, same space that you have with the nothingness. So let's see if I can get you there, or maybe you're already there through your ponderings. I'm not sure. Um, and if you're not there, we want to continue this conversation until your idea of the meaningless is grasped at the same level or within the same space as your idea of the nothingness. And I think the best place to start with the meaningless is to go back and have the conversation about what it means or what we're expressing when we use that statement and say, it is what it is. I've spoken to you guys in particular about this, about, it is what it is. And I remember the conversation because I revisited myself. Anyone listen to that audio about it is what it is? Anyone actually listen to that? Recently. So one person has. The funny thing is, if you go back and re-listen to that audio, what I'm about to share with you is exactly the same. So you think to yourself, well, I thought we're talking about new shit. We are, because obviously it's not been grasped. It's now ready to land at a deeper level. So one of the questions that I asked you last session is this meaningless, and where everything is meaningless. That nothing has meaning except for the meaning that you've placed on it. And I just wrote a quote, if I may diverge for a sec, and I wrote it to Leah to put it up on my Instagram, which is pretty profound. But you know what? There it is. Here it is. Some people want to give away their things in order to find something more valuable. We know what that is, right? The value is in giving away the meaning and attachment you've placed on those things, not necessarily giving away your things. Yeah, it made me smile too, Cora. It's like, wow. So the question that was asked last week, or last session, was, well, there are so many things that mean wonderful things for us, like, family, the people we love. And we have a lot of meanings associated with that. Being a parent, the love that you have with your children. And you're going, it's easy to place meaning on that and saying, it's because I'm their parent. They're my child. And the question that was left with you guys is, are you willing and able to pull the tail that you see coming out of the bushes? Are you willing to pull that tail? Because that's what it feels like if you were to give meaning away and be in the meaningless. It almost feels like I don't want to give the meaning away because there is so many wonderful meanings. Sure, there is meanings that no longer serve me, but there are also so many wonderful meanings. So I kind of posed that question you remember in the session? So I'm going to answer that in a sec. But let's talk about the meaningless. And I said that the recording I did before about it is what it is. Let's go back on that really quickly. Just a refresher. When we say it is what it, and I don't even know where that language came from, but it is so powerful to say something is what it is. But it's also now been washed down and people use it as just throwaway language. And what I mean by that is they have labeled something as negative and gone, well, it is what it is. But they have a negative association with that. They have labeled something as positive and they're gone. So in other words, if I can take away the words positive and negative, and now I bring meaning, because positive and negative is grassroots stuff. They have associated something with a negative meaning, and they go, well, it is what it is. But there is a meaning that is negative to them. They have associated something with a positive meaning. And they go, and most people usually say it is what it is with a negative meaning. I remember having this conversation with Anna through that recording that we did about it is what it is. And she was saying about usually saying it is what it is when it's a positive meaning. When something you've labeled it as a positive meaning. But most people that I meet, when something negative happens, they go, well, it is what it is. But if they have a positive meaning, they don't usually say it is what it is. Right? But that also is what it is. So here's the thing. What is that statement saying? It blows me away where that even came from and how it's just part of our everyday language now. Is it me? Do I hang out with spiritual people, or does more and more people actually saying that? Like they don't have to be in spiritual, something happens and they're not even a spiritual, they'll go, oh, well, I guess it is what it is. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. The isness is the meaningless. When you say it is what it is, the isness is the nothingness. That isness is the meaningless. Now, people can't grasp the isness when they are saying, this is negative, but you know what? It is what it is. That's not the isness. That's someone just using that lingo, that language to maybe move on from the negative. Because the true isness has not labeled or given meaning to something. When you say it is what it is, there is no meaning associated with why it is what it is. So therefore, when you place meaning on something, you are giving reason of why something is. That is what meaning is. When I said what is meaning is reason. Meaning is the reason why this is this way. The reason why this is meant to be. When you say love is, right there, the isness. There's a new word for the world. It probably already exists. You know, it's probably going to be the new lingo. It's the isness. It's the isness, man. New shirt, the isness. The isness, that's where it is. When you say love is, we've spoken about this in the past. Love is. And there's a full stop, or Americans will say period. Love is, boom. There is nothing after the word is, because anything after the word is the meaning you place on what is. And the meaning you place on what is for you to have reason of what it is. So the true statement of experiencing and acknowledging that it is what it is, can only be experienced by someone who has not placed meaning. In other words, the reason of why this happened. The reason of why this negative thing has happened. The reason of why this positive thing has happened. It's the reason. Love has no reason, you've heard me say for many years. Love is. So here's the thing. When you experience the isness, when you try to then control or keep that as though it's not already yours, you then give reason of why it is. So you feel love in the moment, you feel the love that is, which is the meaningless, okay? Because there's no meaning to why the love is. That's what the meaningless is. There's no reason. There is no meaning attached. The meaningless means there is no meaning to why it is. And therefore, there is no reason of why it is. You feel that maybe with your child or your family, like these moments that I described in the last session. Then you think you need to keep that or control that. And then you will give reason of why this is. You look to give reason to keep it. You look to give meaning to it to keep it. You only look to keep something when your value of yourself is small, because you have not grasped, or it has not landed for you yet, that what you're experiencing in that moment is you. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that's one with me? When it is you, you don't try to keep it. Why would you try to keep it? Because you're small and you think it's not yours. That's why what I'm saying, if it's just going out for someone who hasn't emptied their mind, let's have a look a bit more of this. Back to my ponderings, meaning and purpose. So that's what I've written. You're using meaning to define your reasons. Love has no reasons, no reason in the meaningless. Yep. It is what it is, has no meaning attached to it. So therefore, it is the meaningless. That's pretty much what I just covered there. I don't think I've written anything different in my notes. What a beautiful sunrise Harold and Yulia are experiencing behind them. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. So that's the meaningless. It has no meaning. When you the true statement of is what it is, and I won't repeat myself. I've been, I'm trying not to do that with you guys. I tell you what I'm going to tell you, then I tell you what I just told you. Just to make sure it really sinks in. I've vowed not to do that in this new year for you guys. I think you got it, right? You get it. Okay, well, let's go back to our ponderings then. Pondering. This was another one. I'm pretty sure I gave you guys this one, but it's something that I said in OMG, and I just thought, wow, you're doing OMG not to find your answer, but to realize what your real question was. You're doing OMG not to find your answer, but to realize what your real question is. Therefore, who's asking the question? If you ask a question, you would know the answer. You wouldn't know how to articulate the answer, the question, if you didn't know what the answer was. I don't really have any more to say about those pondering points. Maybe I'll open up and hear what you guys have, if you've had any other insights in that, or those pondering points have been powerful for you. I'm happy to hear it now. Not yet. Let me just make sure there's nothing more. The isness. When I talk about quite a lot for the grassroots people, the general public, I talk about happiness for no reason, because most people kind of can comprehend that. Yeah, I've had that moment where I've had happiness for no reason. There's no meaning there. They haven't placed meaning on anything. They're in the meaningless. They're in the isness. They're in the nothingness. You know, when you say it is what it is, what you're actually doing with that one statement, you are actually reclaiming power. You're actually neutralizing charge. If you have the awareness, that one statement of it is what it is. Okay, I want to hear from you guys. So we still have time. First, before we open up, I just want you to. I want to know where the isness is landing for you guys. Like, can you grasp that? Well, within the isness, there is no meaning. Is that landing for you? Okay, I want to hear that. I want to hear where you're at, and then I would like you to share anything that you have pondered in around all the ponderings that I've, because those ponderings are all associated with each other. It's all associated with that very first statement that I gave you. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that's one with me? So let's open up the lines. Let's who's up first? Is that you, Jamie?
Yeah, it's funny, the pondering led me. It was an interesting process because I remember having a conversation with you years ago. I think we were in New York, and we're talking about perception and awareness. And I've always had this thing about, because I have awareness, therefore reality exists. Because without awareness, there's nothing. Like, it's without myself. So when you ask me that question, am I one with the universe? Was the universe one with me? That's where I first led to. But then I felt something else beyond that. Like, where it's not, I'm not having awareness, awareness is having me. And that's where the pondering then led me to with that, which I found quite different. And then the second part, which you, with the question of this isness, I've grasped that, had that land before, but for some reason in this pondering, like this, the free will came up. Like, I don't know why, but free willing or free will for me in that, like the space that I have when you realize the isness of what is, there's also this now huge feeling of free will. So that's where my pondering led me to at the moment. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I'll say something. So the conversation with my son I had, I realized he kept asking why things were, and no matter what answer I gave him, he just kept going, but why? And then it got to a point I said, well, why? He was asking about why people were at the beach. And I said, well, why are you here? And he said, because I love it. And so after that, I realized that giving reason or giving meaning to everything, like it's going around in circles, because all it is just love in the end. So that's sort of where that conversation led my pondering to.
And that love is only now, right now. And when people do experience it now, or the isness of the love, they then try to keep it. They try to, that's when they give reasons to it. Okay. Yeah, bang on. Thanks, Amy. Yep, Chrissy.
I felt something when you restructured the sentence at the beginning of the call. Because when I pondered on that, it was just like immediately it felt like the question felt like there was a disconnect. There was two. Am I one with the universe, or is the universe one with me? I felt that like same thing when you're moving your hands, that it was two things. But then when you rephrased it, it suddenly felt all connected. It was am I, no, am I, sorry, am I the universe that is one with me? It just feels like complete, like a whole, versus the two separate. So that felt really different the way you said it when you restructured it.
Cool.
And also in my ponderings, it really felt like the meaningless, taking away the meaning was reclaiming power, but like on a level that wasn't just like dissolving the charge. It was like, it was deeper, because I feel like you can dissolve the charge almost on sort of like a surface level, but then not take it so deep that, yeah, I didn't like fully grasp the whole concept of that, but it just felt so much deeper than just reclaiming power. But it did feel like reclaiming power. Just felt like, yeah,
bang on. That's spot on, Chrissy. And that's why at the beginning I said, well, positive and negative is just grassroots stuff because people associate with it. Can you imagine me telling the WTF there's no meaning? There's no meaning, no meaning to anything. It's like it's, you know, I mean, when I talk about in the WTF, imagine life is a game. So many people get, you know, have reactions because they're like, well, they don't like it just to be a game because all their meaning they've associated with life and everything they do in their life and who they are is getting challenged. Okay, because if it's just a game, you know, how many times people just go, relax, it's just a game, you know. You can still get really connected and really enrolled, but at the end of the day, it's just a game, you know. You're going to get to your deathbed one day and you'll be like, everything you have meaning, you will leave it behind. You're not going to take any of it with you. You will be in the isness, right? So, look, what you're saying is bang on. This is like it's like it's like the soul's version of reclaiming power versus, you know, it's like, if I could describe it, it's like at the beginning, you're reclaiming power with all the things that your ego has put power in, where this is now you're reclaiming power from, like, you know, the things that are just the final things that are holding your soul. And it's just the meaning you've given to things, to create reason for you to be loved. So, you know, I can't put it to words either, but I'm glad you get that. It's a deeper level of the very beginning of OMG, which is all about reclaiming power.
Yeah, this whole chapter of meaning and purpose, it feels like you almost need to hand out the red and blue pills all over again and say, okay, there's like another level here. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Chrissy. Anyone else? Jody, did you want to say something? No?
Not in regards to the isness. I think like in regards to how you were saying about the question, you wouldn't know how to articulate the question if you didn't know the answer. For some reason, I'm just kind of picturing a scavenger hunt. The person who wrote the clues knows what the answers are to the clues, but the person who is looking for the clues still needs to follow those steps in order to get to the end.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. How's New York going? All good?
Cold but good.
Cool. Thank you. You know, just to give you another reference point, you guys have heard me say things like, oh, that's nice. You know, it's the same thing. You know, when something is happening and things are going, like, instead of putting meaning into it, the moment something is happening that you're excited about, that is taking you towards maybe something more of what you love, it's easy to place meaning into it and go, oh, well, that means that this is going to take me closer to more of what I love. And that means that this is, you know, that's when I say, that's nice. That whole, that nice statement is, you know, I'm staying in the isness. It's like, that's nice. You know, good for you. You know, like that's that. When I'm saying that, and you guys have heard me say that before, and I've referenced that in the past. That's me staying in the isness. Like it's and what is that? You're staying in the meaningless, meaning you are not giving meaning to what is. Because what is what is. That word isness is being used, isn't it? Or is anyone mind your isness? Good one, Chrissy. That word isness is being used around the world, or no? Has anyone heard the word isness? Yeah. Do we just create some shit up?
No.
Sure. There is. Okay, cool.
In fact, Amir, what I'll say is because you just brought the isness up and it brought me back. I'm sitting here with two wonderful beings, and I feel like I'm in church. It's really like, this has really impacted me. I love the articulation of it. I love the vibration where it's landing for me. And, you know, for me to try and form some words around it, I really get when you say like it's another version, once you know, kind of place word on it and then you're placing meaning on it. So I'm just gonna say in a churchy way, I would say, and so it is, sealed in truth.
Cool. I would like to know about the church you go to when you have two women either side of you.
Here it is.
Look, so is Jamie. He's put his hand up. Oh, cool. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, well, you know, and, you know, here's a little bit of a homework for you. Go back and listen to that audio where Anna and I are going back and forth talking about, you know, I'm talking about it is what it is, and Anna was talking about how she kind of says it is what it is when it's a positive thing. You're going to hear that I actually said back then, whenever that session was, probably over a year or 2 years ago, can't remember if you remember, Anna, but it was a while ago, I actually said in the same words that I'm actually telling you, the isness has no meaning. When you say it is what it is, what you're saying is it has no meaning to it, to anything. It has no meaning. So yeah, if I mean, just, you don't have to listen to it, but it's interesting. You know, you listen to it. Here I am talking about it is what it is, and I basically talk about, well, when you're saying it is what it is, what you're saying is it has no meaning. You know, it's the meaningless. Which means there's no reason to why it is. Because you're giving meaning to something in order to give reason. You know, how many times have you said, oh, it's meant to be? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand ultimately, yes, in the big scheme of things, everything's meant to be. But most people's meant to be is it's meant to be because then they find the reason of why they are where they are right now. You know, I used to question that when I was in my young grassroots level. You know, I was like, well, if it's meant to be, like, you know, this happened and then I had this accident and then this came in here and then I got to this point and I had this realization. So then it was meant to be. And I was like, but there's infinite ways of me getting to this point. Did it have to be this path? You know, like, yes, ultimately, and again, if you take yourself out of that, you can say it is what it is. You know, you're not going, well, it's meant to be because this led me to this. The whole it's meant to be is, maybe I will use that with some clients the same way as I would use the idea of being more positive than negative. Yeah, well, it's meant to be. If it wasn't for you, what is allowing someone to do when they say what's meant to be is that it's just calming them down and getting them to a point of, you know, well, accepting. Well, it was meant to be. But really, it is what it is. You know, that's the truth. And the it is what it is. The isness is now. It's right here, right now. Don't know what else to say about that. I'm going to reflect on this and just make sure that we've said everything. And I mean, tell me before we go, has this landed in the same space for you as the way you grasp the nothingness? Talk to me. Because if not, we need to keep talking. Johnny will be spokesman for the group.
For me, yes, it has. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's, and look, I know some of you might go, well, I'd really like to go deep. Like, that question that I left you, that we're going to continue for the rest of these recordings, these sessions that we're doing together. Am I one with the universe, or am I the universe that's one with me? Like, keep asking that question.
Amir, I just want to clarify one thing too. When I say it's landed for me in the same way, what I mean is that the feeling of it has landed in the same way. It's like right now my mind doesn't want to engage in the knowledge of it because the feeling of it is so good. You know, it's like for me, when something lands that way, then later the pondering continues, and it's not that it becomes heady, but then the insight formulates, you know what I mean, into words or images or ideas.
Absolutely. And that's all I want to know right now, is the feeling there for you. And if it is, and that what you then do is you ponder, you continue pondering, and you pull insights out of that, and you create your own wisdom. So, and that's for the people who do the work. You know, if you don't do the work, you just get what I'm sharing with you. You know, doing the work means I give you pondering, you go and ponder on that, and you seriously ponder on that. Then you come back, I give you my pondering, then you go and ponder on that even more. And that's what creates your own wisdom. So it's not my words, it's your own wisdom. Okay? So remember, wisdom is when you experience what you have knowledge about, what you have awareness about. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm content with that. We will continue that question to ponder on for the rest of our sessions. Okay.